Hey, Brennan here. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. Got episode 10 of a new series here on the YouTube channel, Rookie versus Rookie. And today we're going to take a look at Isaiah Bond versus Jaylin Noel, all right? Pretty much in the same tier for me. These guys bring different skill sets to the table, and you might find yourself in a situation where you're on the clock and you got to pick between one of these guys. So I'm here to help you make that decision. We're going to go over and compare their 2024 production, their PFF grades, and also we're going to go over their what I watched, the all-22 film on these players, what I saw, give you some tape grades as well, and at the end tell you who I would pick if I was on the clock and had to select one of these players. Now, of course, we don't have landing spot. We don't have draft capital, assuming it's about the same draft capital for these two players. At least that's what I'm thinking anyway. But even before landing spot, so let's get right to it, man. Let's see what these players look like side by side, all right? So Isaiah Bond, 5'11", 180 pounds, 5'10", 196 for Jaylin Noel. So both guys just under 6 feet. Jaylin Noel holds a little bit more weight. Isaiah Bond is a true junior, all right? Noel is a senior, all right? But let's go through the 2024 production, right? That's the thing with Isaiah Bond, right? His lack of production. 110 yards, 5 TDs, over 1,000 yards for Jaylin with 6 TDs as well. Catch percentage, Isaiah Bond probably got a lot fewer targets. Nonetheless, 72%, 15.9 average. So you know that kind of tells you he's an explosive player. And so is Jaylin Noel, right? 15 yards as well. On average, 65% catch percentage. Slot wide alignment. Really surprised when I put these guys side by side. They're complete opposites, right? Isaiah Bond, 25% in the slot, 75% out wide, using that deep speed of his and his explosiveness on the boundary. Whereas Jaylin Noel was played inside majority of the time, a slot receiver, getting some outside usage. I see Jaylin Noel more of a slot receiver in the NFL, right? PFF receiving grade, 23rd, not so hot for Bond at 74.5, 15th, about middle of the road, 80.6. All right, and these ranks that you guys see on the screen are based on the top 30 wide receivers, PFF grades going to the NFL draft. All the other college players I took out of the list, and we're just comparing the guys going to the draft, all right? Contested catch percentage, 37, almost last for Isaiah Bond, 45th, 18th for Jaylin Noel. Yards after catch, Bond coming in first in the class at 8.1 yards. That is his calling card, man, that explosive playmaking ability. 4.5 ranked 21st, maybe a little closer to the first, third percentile for Jaylin Noel, okay? Yards per route run for all you analytical guys out there, 2.04, 24th for Bond, 2.64, 12th for Noel. Don't really care about that stat specifically for me, but drop percentage, three, ranked 8th in the class. Jaylin Noel, both of these guys got solid hands, so there's really not a whole lot to talk about. All right, let's get to the fun part of the show, man, where we talk about what we see on the film. I've been watching these guys for years. Love watching tape on these players. If you want access to the all-22 films and the film breakdowns, check out our NFL Draft Big Board subscriber. The information is on the bottom of the screen. And I also, on Jaylin Noel, put out a video, probably like a week or two ago. Go check that out, where I broke down one of his games and we kind of talked about what we saw on film, what we like, and that kind of thing. But both of these players, like we talked about before, are kind of similar in size, right? But they bring two different skill sets to the table, right? Isaiah Bond is that, home run hitter, big time playmaker, good Jakob guy. He gets a crease. You're going to find him open in space, get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. And then Noel is kind of more like a possession type receiver, where he's going to be a QB's best friend, just makes himself available, knows how to, find the voids in those zone coverages. And both of these guys are good separators, all right? So, again, the thing that I like about them both, space creation is everything for me for wide receivers, and both of these guys have the ability to create space, kind of in different ways, like I just mentioned. But, Bond, let's talk about him. Let's break down what I saw on film for him. He is a sudden mover, creative guy with the ball in his hands. The big question with him is his lack of production. Back last year, he had 600 plus yards, but the guy's never had more than 700 yards in a season, playing 3 years, playing in a good offense with Texas, and even before that at Bama. And you think to yourself, why hasn't he broken out for 1,000-yard games, right? But he's got good spatial awareness. Yak ability is good. He's going to be just that little undersized. There's not a lot of players, guys, in Dynasty at 5'11" and under who are consistent Dynasty contributors. If you've got a list of all the players in the NFL, most of the guys are 6 foot, 6'1", but, these guys, they get smaller, their odds of hitting and becoming, consistent contributors in Dynasty kind of goes down. Two other little concerns I have with Bond's game: his length. He doesn't have those big arms and big the ability to go up on those contested catch and ability at times, and he is an average run blocker. All right, again, Jaylin Noel. Let's talk about what we see on film for him. All right, quick feet. Space creator as well. He's a really good accelerator. Both of these guys are really good accelerators. I like Jaylin Noel's, route running. We're going to get into that just a little bit better. But alignment versatility is fantastic for Jaylin Noel. They lined him up, even doing sweeps out of the backfield, and lining up as a runner sometimes. So he's a really creative use in an offense. And he's just going to find that spot to get open for his QB and be, like I said, a QB's best friend. All right. So let's go through the scouting report grades that we see. Release and route running. Going to lean Jaylin Noel just for the route tree experience. Isaiah Bond does a lot of, when you watch his film, a lot of the same 3 or 4, routes. Does a lot of, deep routes, a lot of, deep in dig routes and stuff like that. With Jaylin Noel's just kind of like all over the place. Sometimes he's inside, sometimes he's outside. So I think he's got a little better of a route tree. Both of these guys are good accelerators off the line of scrimmage. Ball skills and hands, I gave him a B across the board. I think they're both really good. They're not going to have that big length. The physicality, I'm going to lean a little bit towards Noel when it comes to the contested catch ability. But both of these guys got good ball skills and hands. Good hands, good, make good body control adjustments to the ball. They both bring those skills to the table. Acceleration and long speed, both are good, but I'm going to have to lean, Isaiah Bond really on this one because this guy has the wheels. He's got the explosiveness. He is that explosive playmaker. Jaylin Noel is explosive too, but just in a different way, not with the speed so much, but more with his versatility and knowledge of just how getting open. Yards after the catch, got to give a B+ to Isaiah Bond, and Jaylin Noel is getting a B. I'm going to lean on Isaiah Bond. Again, he had some good things on film, but again, a lot of the catches were catches downfield where I didn't see a ton of yak yards. I'm really just, again, questioning, like, man, why didn't he have any breakout games this year? He had one game with 1,000 yards against UTSA early in the season, and he was nicked up at the SEC game, in the championship game, and then really didn't play too much in the Cotton Bowl. So in any case, he, again, but has that ability. Sorry to get off track there. These things pop into my mind, and I just want to tell you all the knowledge that I have about these guys. Physicality and play strength, I gave them both B+. Both physical guys in their own way. Again, they're not going to be those physical players that win in contested catch situations, but both are really physical finishers with the ball in their hands, which I really like, and good hand fighting at the line of scrimmage from the limited reps that I did see with press coverage. But anyway, both of them, I think, bring enough physicality to the NFL, which is a big thing for me in wide receivers, is being able to play tough and be physical. And you can see that when you watch these guys on the field. All right. So my projection for these guys are probably going to be wide receiver 3s for teams, right? They're not going to be wide receiver 1. Neither of these guys are going to lead an offense. They're going to be, and I don't even know if either of these guys are going to be a solid number 2. Could happen. With Bond, it's hard to project with the lack of production. Slot receiver like Jaylin Noel could come in and be a wide receiver 2. So I'm going to lean him maybe wide receiver 2, but more wide receiver 3. I think Bond is going to be more that, big play type ability versus getting the balls consistently throughout the game. All right. So my comps for these players, I look at, Isaiah Bond, and he looks like a Jalen Waddle light to me. Not comparing him to Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle had more speed, more physicality, but he kind of plays like him, and Jaylin Noel, to me, I have like a Jaden Reed type feel for him at Green Bay. Again, a guy that's used all over the field, same kind of similar size, and like what Jaden Reed brings to the table for Green Bay, I can see a similar role where Jaden Reed isn't a wide receiver 1 for Green Bay, but he's certainly going to be a contributor on that team as a good, solid wide receiver 2. I still think Green Bay is looking for their premier wide receiver. So there you guys got it, man. So the big question you're asking from me, right? Who am I picking in this, in here? I'm going to go Jaylin Noel. Now, I know the explosiveness and stuff is really hard, and the NFL loves speed. I get it. But the lack of production of just where he has never broken out really in any years that he's played, is a little bit of concern. But Jaylin Noel, I think, is just that all-around wide receiver who's going to be a quarterback's best friend, who's going to get peppered with targets. I think it's going to be more involved in an offense. He's got a little better route running ability. and brings a little bit more physicality to the table. So I'm going to lean Jaylin Noel here. It's close. Both of these guys are tier 2 wide receivers for me in my ranks, which you can find at the NFL Draft Big Boards. Not only do I have ranks for the 2025 class, we just did a 2026 mock draft on this YouTube channel, and I've already got my positional ranks for the next year's 2026 rookies as well. So yeah, we go a little deep here on this channel. You want to be a part of the fun, check out the website below, tell you all about it. All right, hope you enjoyed the show, everyone. Hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing to hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 17,000 subscriptions by the NFL Draft. Help me get there. Hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching.